Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Tuesday morning, and that means we come in hot with the lumberjack landlord. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome. I would add heavy as well.
Those are your words, not mine. That's good. Stop talking about me being round. It is. I will have you know that round is a shape. So yes, I am in shape.
Agreed. I concur. I concur. Yep. I don't have a six pack. I got a keg.
I love that. I love that. Hey, so one of the things I wanted to put out there. I want to be very clear that I believe Q1 of 2022, which is the time frame you and I are talking, and it may extend till April or early May, is without question, again, without question, the hardest time to be a real estate investor, especially in residential properties. We are operating in a record low inventory like we have never seen. We now have rising rates that are spurring even more demand. The daily financial news this morning, I talked about 3.8 number. 3.8 is the number of offers on new listings, up from 3.3 last year, which was a bananas year. So yes, being a new real estate investor, hearing or reading One Rental at a Time, watching the Lumberjack, Dion, Bigger Pockets, YouTube University, whatever it is, I want you to know, or at least my opinion, that this is the hardest quarter ever. So I wanted to see if you agreed with that. And what do you think?
Yeah, it's a big, huge bucket of suck.
It's a big old bucket of suck.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Like, my 15 to 20 minutes a day, the thing that I look at is in all humility, I look at it and say, could a new person, a new investor do the deals that I'm doing now? A majority of those deals, no.
Yeah.
A majority of them, no. And so elite investors are growing at a very fast rate right now because they can make something out of nothing, right? And that's the challenge. I wouldn't want people to get discouraged because they couldn't put a deal together. I mean, we see it all the time on the boards, right? People talking about, I've been doing the work. I've been, evaluating the assets and running my charts and running my spreadsheets. And it's been, 6 months and I still haven't found anything. Okay. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And the thing is that it's not going to last. Right? It's not going to last. I saw more off-market deals come across my desk in the last 60 days than on-market deals. People are looking to pocket list them because there's investors out there with crazy money that are willing to overpay, and so those are all things. I think the most important thing is you stay disciplined. And I think that you just recognize that you still have to be consistent. You still have to be doing the work. You still have to put yourself in a position because at the drop of a hat, this will change.
Yeah.
Even though the market is expecting and largely handicapping a 50-point rate hike, right?
Yeah.
Even though the market really looks like that, when it happens, it'll be like it had never been mentioned.
Yeah.
The market has a short memory like that.
Yeah.
And that's what I think will largely happen. And then you're going to see literally people running and saying, this is now the new trajectory. Rates are going to increase dramatically, not only in size, but in velocity.
Yeah.
And that means that I got to get on this thing now. And I'm going to take a skinnier deal because rents are still going up aggressively. There's all sorts of things that will go through people's minds. The most important thing is know it cold for the opportunity that it will arise, because it's what you're going to do when that opportunity arises. If you're already prepped and you've done the work, then you're going to know what a great deal is. You're going to know, hey, this is a deal I need to pounce on. If you haven't done all the work, you're not going to know that. You need to have done the work. You need to have the spreadsheet. You need to be daily disciplined. You need to be looking and doing the math. Which is what your course sets up so well.
Yeah.
You need to be doing that stuff on a daily basis and executing. Otherwise, you're not going to know that it was awesome. And 2 years from now, you're going to be doing some of the things that I do, which is I have to drive through the city that I invest in.
Yeah.
And I look at deals, I'm like, I should have done that one. I
missed it.
Yeah. Yep. There are a couple of those. There are a couple of those that really hurt because they would have been in 3 years, they would have been 6-figure returns.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of things I could do better, right? I did this a bunch in 2020. I don't think I've talked about it in maybe a year. But again, I talk about looking at my market every day, generally before 8 o'clock, sometime during my financial news and my 8 o'clocks, I've looked at my market.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to remind people, 2020, I wrote over 100 offers and got 2 counters.
Yeah.
That's not normal. In a normal time frame from 2002 to 2019, if I would have written 100 offers, I probably would have gotten on the low side 30 counters. Because again, some of my offers are like, the seller should tell me to F off, but I only write up offers that produce my yield.
That's right.
It's that simple, right?
It's just math.
It's just math.
Just math.
And again, list price is, I almost don't even bother looking at it, right? But I won't go over list. So I guess I look at it a little bit.
Yeah.
So again, on a normal time from 2002 to 2019, 100 offers. On the low end, I would have gotten 30 counters. On the high end, it probably would have been 50. And I got 2. So believe me when I say I know it is hard. That is why there's something else in my course about growing your network. Try to meet two new people a week. Yeah. In 2020, I forget exactly. I think we did 8 deals, might have been 9. And then last year we did 6. Last year we got 1 deal off the MLS, right? I haven't got it. That was one deal off the MLS, which again, 1 rental at a time. My entire portfolio minus 2 transactions was MLS based.
Yep.
So I know it's hard.
Yep.
That doesn't give you permission to stop.
Nope.
It doesn't. I mean, these people that are like, hey, I've been doing this for 6 months and I'm going to give up. Well, fine, give up. But who promised a deal in 6 months? We have record low inventory. In fact, I am probably more proud of people who have money and have not done a deal. Yeah. Because I know hundreds of people who get to a point at like day 91 that get exacerbated and they just go, screw it, I'm buying something. And you buy a bad deal or maybe best case average. Yeah, it's like, doesn't move the needle. Yep. So if you're out there, you have some money, you're getting antsy. I'm here to tell you, I've been doing this almost 22 years now. Markets change and they do turn on a dime. They do. Right? We're going to go into a rising rate environment. We're going to, bingo, bango, again, Q1, maybe through May of this year. What we have right now, because of 1 rental at a time, is we, investors, are competing with owner ocks like never before. I thought last February was bad when Omar and I actually had this conversation in the video and said, this is going to be the best time to do a lipstick flip. And we were right, because we saw what was coming.
Yep.
Right now, this is like, there are owner occupants that feel so desperate, they're almost writing offers sight unseen. And that is crazy for an owner who's going to live there with 3. It's just, and that's tough for an investor to hear, but it will change. Rates will go up. We will have a recession. Consumer confidence, I believe, is going to crash this year. And why is that important for investors? You guys got to remember that buying a home, generally speaking, is the largest expense that 90% of adults will ever make. Mm-hmm. And if the consumer confidence crashes for whatever reason, job loss, spin up, whatever it is, war, they're just going to go, they're going to retreat like the Chinese. I mean, it could happen in China right now. People are so scared because of all the things in the property market that they stopped shopping at Starbucks. 2 quarters in a row, Starbucks have said Chinese consumers have dropped double digits. If you stop buying a $7 latte, you are conserving cash. Yeah. That can happen again. Sure. So just keep going, right? And then for me, I just want to say this again. The whole reason I wrote my second book is because I read this book, Gary Keller. It's a great book. But what I did is I read the appendixes, these little gray sections that have pictures of people, because these were proofs that real estate investing works. And we're going to get into this in the second video, but I know it sucks the first 4 years. Yeah. That's why I wrote 15 conversations with real estate millionaires. So you can find your 1 or 2 people and read that chapter over and over and over again. None of you are going to like all 15 chapters. That was on purpose. There are 15 unique stories. Some will resonate, some won't. This book saved me. And more specifically, the appendix saved me. I literally I had to buy a second copy. I wore out these, I don't know how many pages these are. It's like 30 pages or something. So I don't know. I'm frustrated that people have been trying it for like 90 days and they want to give up. I'm like, I never made that promise. You keep going, keep doing the work. Only good or great deals.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, anything worth doing is hard. And it's hard, it's even in, my market, I think there are actively 3 properties in my buy box. Or three are properties I would look at. They're not anywhere close to qualifying for my buy box.
Right.
And so it's frustrating. It's frustrating, but I look every single day in the hopes that there is a deal that will pop. Admittedly, I can do more with deals than a newbie investor because I've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
But keep on doing the work. I mean, yeah, it's slow and steady wins the race. And I always tell people, you don't start with 10, you start with 1.
Yeah.
And you don't need 5. You just need the next one.
Exactly.
So keep on doing the work, stay diligent. There will be other people that will fatigue out. I mean, what was the main reason we heard for the summer slowdown this year? Buyers got tired.
Yeah, they got tired. They got frustrated. I'm going to take
buyers got tired and frustrated, so they took themselves out of the game.
It'll happen.
And so I think that will happen. I think that, yeah, I mean, I think this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And there is nothing sexy about mile 7. There just isn't, but you have to run it to get to number 8, and you have to run that to get to number 9.
I like it.
And so you just got to keep on plugging and just keep a pace to you as well. The other thing too is that if you're doing that homework and you're saying, I'm not seeing a lot, I have an idea. Why don't you start investing in yourself and in the skills that you've created, and look at a prop stream, look at a fill in the blank, look at one of those services that can help get you on level footing with that next level up. Leveling up is not just what you're buying and how you're buying it and what your margins are. Leveling up is being able to create something from nothing. Right. And if you can't find something on MLS and nothing is filling that box, level up. How much is prop stream? It's like $97. And I think it's $97 a month. I mean, again, $320 for your course, best value on the internet. I'll say that until you get crazy with the pricing.
Works for me.
And yeah, and it just is. And then you look at the other side of it too, where we look at it and say, well, so you and I are sales background, right? We would love getting incoming leads.
Sure.
Incoming leads are awesome. They're the best. I love an incoming lead. That guy is literally telling me he needs my product and he wants me to talk to him about my product because he knows that he's already assessed that he has a need. That is MLS.
Yeah.
Guys that become elite at what you and I do on the software side, guys that became elite, we weren't waiting for the phone to ring. We were making outbound calls, cold calling. That's what we would do. The same thing applies for real estate. If you want to become elite, another step to becoming elite is knowing your market, knowing it cold, but now doing more to create more opportunity for yourself, where you might be investing in some other type of service where you can set the criteria, get the notes out. I know, largely speaking, that there's not a lot of markets right now where you can spend 20 minutes a day evaluating deals. There just isn't enough inventory hitting the market. Take that same time, take that same daily discipline and use it on something else that continues the march forward is what I would be recommending to do, because there are going to be sellers out there. And did they get your flyer? Did they get your handwritten letter? Did you create a buy box that might only be 30 properties that you're targeting, but you hit them every single month or every 60 days with another?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to bring the folks with PropStream back because they actually gave us a link so people can get some free leads or 50, I think it's 50 leads and a little discount. So I'll find that. Yeah. I'm going to bring them back because you're right. I think if you get if I had a buy box, and in the beginning, my buy box was wicked tight.
Yeah.
That had 100. I would hit them. And again, I wouldn't, you got to watch the message, but yeah, I would say, hey, I'm looking here. This is what I'm looking for. You're one of the listings. Would appreciate a phone call if you ever thought of it. And I'm going to be hitting. I mean, I've been very clear with people. I'm trying to prospect for Wales.
Yeah.
I want to buy an entire portfolio. I might do one transaction this year, but I'm going to buy dozens of units. That's my goal, right? That, and I'm going to build an ADU, right? I'm going to freaking finally build an ADU and see what that's all about. Freaking city of Fresno. Approve the damn thing.
Dude,
brutal.
ADUs are brutal. It's a great strategy, but they
brutal.
Are hard.
Dude, it started in November.
I went 9 months on trying to knock down a house and rebuild it. 9 months. It cost me over $8,000 in survey and application and permit fees, and I got a no. I got nothing.
Yeah, we just had real quick. We had our city meeting, I want to say 10 days ago.
Okay.
They gave us a tentative approval pending a porch. They wanted us to add a porch to the design. So of course I have to go pay the architect and then do this and do that. To me, it just feels like a goddamn delay tactic, but
it probably is.
I'm going to build an ADU this year. It's going on my vision board. I'm going to build one. God damn it.
But I think that's exactly it, right? Is that we're always moving. And we're always trying to create something, in many cases, out of nothing in this market. And so I think that other people, if you know your area, you know your buy box, you know what you're looking at. Now you need to stop waiting for the lead to come in.
Yeah, go do.
And you need to start going out there and making a deal happen.
Yeah,
and that is
yes.
And again, Mike, you and I were doing this. I was driving for dollars. That's how I used to do this stupid stuff. I used to drive for dollars. I didn't have some service like PropStream where I could pay $97. Are you kidding me? I spent more than that a month in gas.
Yeah.
Driving around. Because when I was doing it, gas was, almost $4 a gallon. I spent more than $97 a month in gas driving neighborhoods looking for something that was like, you know what? I was a little bit insulted because I actually got a letter in the mail, which meant that my property was dilapidated and somebody thought it was like not being taken care of. And I was like, I literally said to him, I go, what the hell is this? And it was such a garbage letter too. It was like, dear sir or madam. And I'm like, and then I read it and it was such a garbage letter. And the funny thing is I said to him, I said to Ashley, I said, aren't we doing that? That's a project that we have going on. She goes, yeah, we just pushed it off from last year to this year. I go, thank God we can stop getting that letter. But it was just such a garbage letter. But people need to take more control of their destiny. They've taken the first step. They've learned their market. They understand their buy box, but now they're waiting for incoming leads. Grow up. Get off the incoming lead idea. It's nice when they happen. I love it. MLS is fantastic. But somebody asked, I think somebody asked in one of the Facebook groups, what we prefer, on market lead or an MLS deal or a non-MLS deal. They both have pros and cons. At the end of the day, you just look at whatever. And the most important driver here, the biggest, most important number is the number of opportunities you get to review to then put it into, see if it fits in your buy box. And if it does, you move forward. If it doesn't, you don't. Yeah.
So a couple of things to wrap the first session up. PropStream has a playlist on my channel. There was somebody I brought to the channel. I will bring them back. Second, I just want you to realize that if you can make it through this quarter, maybe it's April, maybe it's May, the next 20 years will be easier. I want people to hear that, right? The whole, getting through Hell Week in the Navy SEALs sucks on purpose. This is your Hell Week, people.
Yeah.
And if you can get through this, it's going to get it will only get easier from here. That much I can guarantee you. So how can people find you?
So 8:00 p.m. this Thursday night. We've missed a couple weeks of Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack Landlord, but we're clear for takeoff. So we will be doing a live stream this Thursday night, Lumberjack Landlord, 8 p.m. Eastern time, Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack. We'll be taking couples questions. If you have a significant other, one or two that make a throuple, come on in, ask your questions. We want to make sure to address those questions.
Very cool, man. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.